Good morning.
Good morning.
It's great to see everyone here. And welcome to the people that are joining us via the internet on Zoom. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope it's a fantastic year for everyone. I want to introduce the worship team today. The Reverend David Messner is going to be participating in the service, as well as Caroline Bright, our interim minister, and Vincent Craig, who's going to be providing the music today. Thank you to the worship team today. Mainline Unitarian Church is many things. Among those is that we are an open, caring, and religious community. We welcome everyone to join us and to go together on this journey of transforming our lives. We are united in a diverse spirituality, and we have principles that we uphold in our daily lives and are upheld by all Unitarian Universalists. We individually commit to learning and growing in our spirituality as a community and putting our faith into action for social justice here and in the larger world everywhere. So welcome. If you're new to Mainline Unitarian Church, we're especially welcome to see you and invite you to come across the hall at the end of the service to join us for a coffee hour and get to know us better, and we can get to know you better. As an announcement, I just want to mention, oh, I forgot my prop, hold on. I have one announcement. We have today the grand reopening of the Wonder Room Youth Library. And we have books everywhere from here that I can read, big thick pages. We have books everywhere from there to a very big set of Harry Potter books and everything in between. And we've reorganized it, so I hope you'll come upstairs. It's in room 201 in the Wonder Room. Come up and see, take out books for yourselves, for your friends, for your neighbors, for your grandchildren, for everyone you want to. I will be up there to orient people to how we've organized it, and I want to thank especially Celia Nielsen and Dawn Starr for helping me reorganize it in the last few weeks. So thank you very much. And with that, I will turn it over to Reverend Dave with a minute for mission.
Happy New Year. Oh, you're so good getting up at 9 a.m., maybe 8:30 a.m. in 2023. You're way ahead of the game. The pitch I want to make to you today is really like a lifestyle pitch. I'm going to do it in two steps. This is the first one. My sermon will be the next one. And that's to think of church not as a place where we aggregate together some collection of beliefs and then come together to repeat them, although we're about to repeat a mission, but instead a place that we come together to reinforce and inform one another about the practices that go into a good life. What are the practices of a good life? You all know some of them because you got up and gathered together with your people here on the first day of the year. That's a practice. I want to pitch a practice here in church, which is to look at the most important thing is not the right side of your order of service, which has what's going to happen next. It doesn't matter what's going to happen next. You'll see. You'll see. Does it matter which hymn we're going to sing? Not until you get there. It's going to be number 39, but you don't need to study that. Study the left side, because on the left side is stuff coming up. And the practice I want is the practice of intentionality at the beginning of each month for how we're going to engage our church community. And I feel excited for a few things. One is there's a field trip this month, holy moly, to the Matisse exhibit at the Philadelphia Museum of Art, which sounds like good fun if you miss field trips. Some of you are still in school, so you have field trips. Many of us yearn for those days. I also want to call out something extraordinary here, which is that we have 2 showings this month, one of them broke into multiple days, of creative visual works by artists in the congregation. One of them is on the long, strange trip of Unitarian Universalism. And so it's a 6-part series, and Ron Cordes produced this wonderful series. And we'll be watching this together with the benefit of Ron on hand. And it's also a great way to go deep into Unitarian Universalism. The other piece is with one of our newest members, Rick Morris, produced this documentary called Closed Doors on the integration of baseball. And so he did lots of amazing research and had amazing conversations with players from the old Negro Leagues and from the early days of the integration of baseball. So this is not only an exciting and creative piece of work, but I see it as part of our continuing conversation around the eighth principle and these ideas of what does it take to dismantle systems of segregation and oppression. And there's this heroic story of baseball in the 20th century that Rick is going to share with us. So I encourage you to come to all of those events, and I could go on, but just make a plan for trying a new thing this month. Try a new thing. If you haven't been to the men's breakfast, come out to the men's breakfast. That's good fun. And I just brought new syrup back to companion with Pete. Oh, no, it's Peter brings the syrup. I'll keep my syrup at home. Anyway, the men's breakfast on Friday is lots of good fun. I'm not sure anyone who wants to identify as male or male adjacent could come to breakfast, right? I'm checking down here. That's it. Try the new things. Try Theology Explorers. That's virtual, but it's people doing just that, exploring ideas together. The list goes on and on. So I'm going to stop there. I'm so excited about this year that we have together, this remaining half a year. And I also want to say a really cool thing that's like an event that happens in a faraway galaxy that you get excited about but you can't see. Tomorrow, ministers' records get released to your search team. So you are in the thick of search season tomorrow night, and you're going to have all these awesome people that you don't get to see yet. But I feel excited about it for me and for you. Thank you. I'll turn it back over to my colleague.
So now, if you would please silence your devices and join me as we talk about our mission statement as projected on the screen here. So in unison we'll say, together we transform lives through love, service, and our welcoming faith.
The heart of our faith that calls you here, that calls you onward, that calls you inward, that calls you homeward. What is it that gives you the power to make the change, to ask that question, to take that journey? What is it that says you have done well, that asks you to learn more, that brings you to stillness, that holds you up in hard times? It is relationship, the beating heart of our faith. It begins when we share this hour, our truths, this air, our hearts. Come, let us worship together.
These opening words are from Miller Williams. Have compassion for everyone you meet, even if they don't want it. What seems conceit, bad manners, or cynicism is always a sign of things no ears have heard, no eyes have seen. You do not know what wars are going on down there where spirit meets the bone. And that, my friends, is one of the practices that brings us together in church, to move closer to the place where spirit meets bone, to grant one another in the spirit of charitability, the spirit of openness, a little extra compassion, whether people ask for it or not. Give it away. Give it away. Give it away in abundance, compassion to everyone you meet inside these doors, the ones you have known, the ones you have not yet met, even the ones who are yet to arrive. This is what church is. Welcome to the celebration of life. Let us commence 2023 together. And I invite you to rise in body or in spirit, definitely in voice, for the singing of hymn number 39, Bring, O Morn, Thy Music. This is in your gray hymnal.
Today by Julie Morstad. This is the clicker. It's this one. It's this one. All right. Time to get up. You've already done that. You're ahead of the game. What should I do today? Where should I go? Should I stay close to home or go far away? But first, what'll I wear? We have a lot of options here. Lederhosen, fuzzy coat, stripy pajamas, ninja mask, eye patch, Viking helmet, party dress, mittens, maybe not today, it's pretty warm outside. A cloak, perhaps, a plaid shirt if you're from where I'm from in Vermont. A bathing suit, maybe not today. Stripy tights, wings, always a good choice. A beekeeper's hat, you can never be too careful. And how would you like to wear your hair? So many options today. A top knot, neat and tidy, long on top, very trendy right now. Pigtails, a top pony, a side pony if we want to bring back the 80s. Short, high top, headband, short and long, also called a mullet, where I'm from. Okay, ready to go. Can you guess where we're going? Could we be playing hockey? Could we be going to ballet class, snorkeling, soccer? Oops, we almost forgot breakfast. Again, so many choices. What would you like to eat? Eggs and soldiers? Toast with eggs? Do you like jam on toast? Sunny side up eggs, bananas, porridge, rice and beans, berries, very popular in my house, pancakes with some of that syrup that Reverend Dave brought back from a wonderful place you might have heard of. Smoothie, maybe? Now, where would you like to go? To the hockey rink? A good choice. To the museum? A walk in the woods? For a swim? Maybe to church? You've already done that today. Maybe to the skate park? Or maybe a tiny island all by yourself. There are so many ways to get there. How would you get there? By bus? On a camel? By car, that seems fairly likely. On a skateboard, maybe? On a slow boat? Horsey ride? Hitch a ride? Paddle? Follow the leader? Jog? Fly? Would you like to be in the middle of a big, bustling city? Looking at the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? Or maybe you'd like to be in the middle of a quiet, heavenly nowhere, talking with the minnows. How about getting lost in the flowers and stopping to pick a few? Which would you pick? Dandelions? Buttercups? Daisies? Clover? If the sun is out, let's run through the sprinkler and let the sun dry the clothes on the line. Then, of course, time for something icy, cold, and sweet. Which one would you like? Ice cream sandwich, soft with sprinkles, watermelon on a stick, chocolate mint, popsicles? What should we do today if it's raining? Build something? Read something great? Dress our dolls? Draw something? Draw something else? Here are some things in my room. Do you have some of these too? The doll who got a haircut. The candy cane from last Christmas. A few of my favorite bottle caps, a lucky pink string, one happy little mouse doll, the best blue, green, blue crayon. Oh, the dominoes that were lost. The best marbles. What else can we do inside? Start a band, listen to my favorite song. Kids, that's an illustration of an ancient piece called a record player. In the times before, they would listen to music on these discs. I've heard good things. Maybe I'll read my favorite book. Can you guess what it's about? Does anybody see what's at the top of the page? What's peeking out? You guessed it. Animals. Which one is your favorite? An armadillo? A kitten? Flamingo? Gorilla? Whale? A giraffe? My favorite's a kitten. Ready for a bath? It's handy to bring a friend. Do you want bubbles? Which pajamas would you choose? Sporty, rainbow, cloudy, buttoned, mix and match? What's left before bedtime? One more book, don't forget to brush, call grandma. Can I have a drink of water? Some knowing chuckles. Well, we did almost everything today, but what should we do tomorrow? It's the first day. Today is the first day of a new year. We have so many choices. We have so many ways to start fresh. And at the same time, it feels kind of just like yesterday. Both of those things are true at the same time. And so, at this time, I would like to invite all the kids, or anyone who wants to participate in a little bit of fun religious education, to come with me. If you have your coats in here with you, bring your coats. If they're hanging out back, we will grab them. We're going to go outside, just to the porch, and do a fun little activity that involves fire. Don't worry, I've taken all appropriate precautions, and I was a Girl Scout troop leader, so we're good.
Each week, we take up a collection from these pews, I'll call them figuratively pews, and we do two things. We give part of it to fuel the ministries of this church that are directed toward transforming the world. It's important that I note that because it's not that we keep half somehow and give half. We give all. We take half and through the ministries of the church transform, and then we take half and we look in the world and we say, who else is working alongside us for the same kinds of transformation of which we dream? And so it's one of the ways that we symbolize with these material goods our kind of understanding of what shared ministry is. And I think it's important to note, in this church in particular, we are not ones who always draw as sharp a line between the holy work and the secular work, right? There isn't feeding people in holy ways and feeding people in secular ways. There's simply feeding the hungry, and that work is worthy. So we're trying to say something rather profound about the nature of our community with these offerings. We have this wonderful offering outreach committee who discerns each month to whom we will give our gift, that we clump up all of the offerings in that month that we might have more impact. And indeed, we just passed recently a milestone of several $100,000 worth of investment in these external organizations. And I like to think that the investment is the smallest part, that we then build upon it. We're thinking about how we can work together, how we can build relationships, how we can reinforce the work of each other, and teach each other, back to that issue of practices, teach each other ways of being in the world. This month is a great example of that. You all have chosen, and I should say, the whole congregation can propose recipients, and then the committee gets together and discerns where they fit and what are the priorities are. And so I encourage you to participate either in the committee or the proposal. People are looking up, so I hope you're not stealing my words and just giving them away for free up top. Today's offering is going to go to the Patrician Society, and this is a long-standing organization that's working to feed those who are food insecure. It's situated at St. Patrick's in Norristown. There in the basement, has been doing this work, this valiant work for a long time. And one of the key things to understand is something about Norristown. And I really am probably teaching people who know more about the geography and the socioeconomics of our geography than I do. I'm just 18 months in here. But Norristown has a concentration of those who have less socioeconomic power. And strangely enough, what goes along with that concentration of a lack of power is lack of access to things like good, inexpensive food. It's an ironic thing that as communities get richer, they get more and more food options and in fact can shop more cheaply. It's kind of a paradox of our society, but anyone who's ever lived in the city knows what it is to go to the corner bodega and attempt to purchase everything you need for supper, like $38 for supper with a few little bits of food. The food pantry counterbalances the effect of those food deserts and strengthens people, strengthens families, and strengthens the community. Our gift will go directly toward feeding those who are hungry. Thank you for receiving that message, and we will now receive your gifts gratefully on behalf of the Patrician Society. Let us now make space to receive the joys and the sorrows of this community. It is our practice to light a candle for each joy and sorrow. On this day, I want to lift up Ron D'Annunzio and his brother Rich, who is battling stage 4 liver and lung cancer. For Rich and for Ron, we hold you in our hearts. I also would like to light a candle of remembrance for my friend Paul Lombardo, a veteran and a chaplain, and we mourn his sudden passing in these holiday days. And so I'd like to lift up Minor Fox, his husband, and his family. For Minor and for Paul, we hold you hearts. I have a red microphone, and so I'm going to break rules because I'm the interim minister. Does anyone have a joy or sorrow or a candle they would like lit today? You can raise a hand, and we'll come over to you and let you speak a word. I won't let you touch the microphone, but I'll let you speak. Nuala.
I just wanted to celebrate the birthday of Muhammad, the father of the Afghan family you've been supporting. He had his 31st birthday yesterday.
For Muhammad, we hold you in our hearts. Liz.
I know it's odd because this is a celebrity, but he was a family friend. The Blagan family lost a dear friend when Franco Harris passed away.
What's her name?
Franco Harris.
Franklin Harris.
His wife, Dana.
For Franco, excuse me, and his wife, we hold you in our hearts. Anyone over here? Okay. I walk slow because it's dignified. But I'm coming. Yes.
Hi, and I just wanted to light a candle of concern for my father who's got COVID and he's stuck in the Philippines. He was supposed to be on his way home and he's got cancer, so kind of scary.
We hold you. We hold him in our heart. Yes.
Just like to remember my husband, Mark Knight, who passed away in June.
We hold him in our hearts. Did you raise your hand, or am I cold calling on you?
But I had something
Okay.
on my mind.
I sensed it.
My sister Jennifer, who's 48, had 10 years or so of IVF treatments. She was on her last one and had a kind of a miracle baby on December 10th, Ava.
For the wonderful joy of new arrival, we hold her in our hearts. For all the joys, those spoken aloud in church, those held silently in our hearts, those lifted up at home when there's only a screen with you, know that we are holding you in our hearts. We are holding you in our prayers, that we might experience the joys and sorrows of life together. And by doing so, that they might become a bit more gentle, a bit more full, and a bit more navigable. May it be so. Thank you. Our text today is a brief one. On this, the dawn of a new year, we have this text from the late Carl Seberg, who was a colleague of mine. Between the dawn and dusk of our being, let us be brave and loving. In our little passage through the light, let us sustain and forward the human venture. In gentleness, in service, and in thought. Let us feel the spaciousness of a new day and a new year, breathe, and take a couple of minutes here together for prayer, for meditation, for rest. Take what you need. May the silence we have shared continue to hold and to heal us.
Singing, we will not stop singing, we will not stop singing till the world can hear our song, till the world can sing along. We will not stop marching, we will not stop marching, we will not stop marching till the world can hear the song, till the world can sing along, till the world can sing, till the world can sing, till the world can sing along. We will not stop praying, we will not stop praying, we will not stop praying till we all can get along, till the world can sing the song. We will not stop shouting, we will not stop shouting, we will not stop shouting, shouting right from wrong, till the world can sing the song, till the world can sing, till the world can sing, till the world can sing along, till the world can sing, till the world can sing, till the world can sing along. We will not stop singing, we will not stop singing, we will not stop singing till the world can hear our song, till the world can sing along.
2023, this is the year we have been waiting for. I tell you the truth, everything up until now has been mere practice, a scrimmage match, dress rehearsal. None of it counted. Now we have arrived at the threshold, it's 2023, and we cannot lose. We cannot lose in 2023. Every year, of course, encourages this sort of brash optimism. But this year is special. Honestly, I feel it. I love this week, and this week is made exquisite by the fact that Sunday is the first. All of the pieces are coming together. I love this week because it is the week of the New Year's resolution. Like Charlie Brown in the football, I will take the New Year's resolution opportunity every year. I sort of dated myself there with a little Gen X for Charlie Brown in the football. I sense this room knows who Charlie Brown is. This is also the week I will remind you that we take Christmas trees down. We do so on Epiphany. Let's remember. And then it's also secretly the week that we let go of some of those New Year's resolutions, put them back in the storage box up in the attic along with all of the ornaments on the tree, wrap those New Year's resolutions gently in reused tissue paper, put them in their Tupperware, and tuck them on the high shelf. Now, last year had interesting timing too. I was thinking about church on New Year's in a packed gym. It was New Year's Day, it's the day before, and every treadmill was full. You had to wait your turn. It was the following Saturday as I was getting ready, and I saw just one person there. Literally one person there. Now, my wife pointed out to me that under normal circumstances, people don't go to the gym on Saturday night, and that perhaps I was just uncool and had not detected a pattern in human existence. Maybe it was just timing. But I do think it had something to do with the longevity and the impact of the sorts of resolutions that we make every year. And today we have a second bite at the apple. For me, I think it's the 54th bite at the apple. And it's a chance not to make the same resolution that I made the other 53 years, but this year, really, darn it, do it. Through more discipline, more self-pressure, more intensity, more deleting of everything else from the table, and I will just do that. I'm not sure that's the secret. It's a chance, I think, instead to maybe make a whole other kind of resolution. And so, having that in mind, I want to give it a different name, so it's not excessively colored by the baggage of New Year's resolution. Instead of making a resolution, let's make it a day of picking an experiment. Every New Year's, I charge you, choose an experiment for the year. Not to beat yourself up to do a thing, but to give yourself a gift of new understanding about things. And maybe more importantly, a new understanding of internal things. Too much we are consumed with things of the external world when the power over everything is so much more within us. You know, there is merit in going to the gym for the experience of that physical exertion. There are wonderful rewards to be had at the gym. I have preached indeed before about the, somewhat superficial, but nonetheless delightful rewards of the Fitbit. And I encourage you to that if you find some modest joy within it. I don't mean to take it away, but I'm thinking about something different this morning. It's this. At some point on the treadmill, I don't know if the treadmill is your machine. Have you all been on treadmills? Okay, you know what I'm talking about. At some point on the treadmill, and for some of us it's after 14 minutes, and for some of us it's after 75 minutes, that's not important. At some point on the treadmill, without conscious thinking, your brain says to yourself and to your body, the heck with this. I think I'm done with this. And it looks for some kind of excuse. It could be a cramp. It could be heavy breathing. It could be sweating. It could be boredom. It could be the end of the show you're watching on Netflix. It could be a tiny little headache. It could be I'm out of water. There are lots of reasons, external reasons. But the main point is that this inner voice somehow suggests to us that I'm done. I'm done. I can't possibly go another step. And in response to that little voice that talks to us about all kinds of things, you have a choice. You can hit the big red emergency stop button. That is there for when all kinds of crises. I mean, there's a stop button, like a normal one over here, but there's a big red one in case you're going to die. I always hit the big red one because I'm kind of dramatic that way, and I shout, I'm done. At that moment, the voice says to me, you might be done. There's a choice between slapping the big red button of liberation, I like to think of it, the big red emergency button of liberation and go get a smoothie, or notice something different, which is that the little voice in your head has been saying this kind of thing before, and maybe says this kind of thing a lot. And answer the little voice by simply going 10 minutes. don't answer the little voice by simply going another 100 minutes. That little voice has little to do with the outward reality of the world and has more to do with inner habits. So what I mean to suggest today is that we might have a chance to do that New Year's experiment around some of those inner dispositions and habits of mind. And that in doing so, instead of the big red external button, we're hitting another button, right? The button, big red button of liberation to say, stop. I'm going to do something counter to the pattern of the little voice that I may consciously or only unconsciously hear. The resolution or the experiment you choose this year, I mean to suggest, ought to be about the inner self and not, I'm even going to risk it, what buildings we go to, external matters. I'm going to go to the gym every day. Is that what's at stake? Is that the transformation we're talking about in church? Okay, let me get real here for a minute. Put something on the line. I'm going to go to church and worship every week. Is that the project here? I have people. I got people. And they're counting whether or not you're coming to church every week. And it's on a spreadsheet. It says at the top, vital signs. It's dramatic. I'm dramatic that way. Are we living? It's like breathing. Do the people come to church? Is that what I'm trying to achieve? Is that what you're trying to achieve? Is that the kind of transformation you're talking about? 52 weeks in church, 365 days in the gym? Is it all about movement through buildings, or is it something else? And do you need to go anywhere to have a transformation of the spirit, to have a transformation of the mind, to be a whole new self before you know it? Something we're talking about is like the inner life. I often reflect one of my small group meetings. I've done a lot of small groups in church. I encourage you to get one. And I said, we're here to do soul work, right? We're here to do spirit work. And I asked the question, like, just start, tell me what feeds your spirit. Not a bad question for the new year. And I just love him. One of my most beloved 92-year-olds, he said, I got to stop you. We've been going around. He said, first tell me, what the heck is the thing you're talking about, spirit? What do you mean by that? So I tried to think of all the other words I could say for someone who didn't want to think that like there's a spiritual self is different from the other. Oh, let's just go with inner self, deeper self. Where's the deeper self? I don't know. That's what we're wrestling with here. And so I mean to say, as a suggestion of liberation, that we worry less about what building we're in, what seat we're in, what car we're driving, all of these things, but take up an experiment of self-transformation this year that might give us more breathing room. Right? More spaciousness. I use that word a lot. Because somehow, after this era of COVID, it's what I want. I want more room to stretch my legs. I want more air to breathe. I want more people around me. Isn't that funny to think of more people around me as something like spaciousness? When we might think of being crowded into a subway, that's not how I feel. So I want you here, not because we're clicking things off on our vital signs report that we provide. I want you here because it's something of like the spaciousness of growing to the great woods. We just went up to Vermont, standing there at the lake and the mountains, and this is like the human forest around me. Breathe it in. So there is an experiment, if you don't have one yet, that I have. What is the meaning of spirit? And what is the relevance of spaciousness? Spirit and spaciousness. What space does your spirit need? How do you locate your spirit? Where is the center of that gravity? And what spaciousness does it need? Let that be your experiment. And sometimes spaciousness is not, as I just suggested, not isolation from other people, but this great expanse of human heart, human love, minds, co-creators. That's what I see when I look out. That's why I want to go on a field trip to a museum with you people. My co-creative spirits are opening new vistas for me. That's the gift you're giving. So as I look around, and as I hope you look around on this January 1st, I want you to see the gifts on offer that you might do some experiments with. New relationships, new dispositions inside that incline us toward relationships, new dispositions inside that incline us toward pushing through the limits our minds continuously describe to us that we have. I don't know what experiment is waiting for you. I do know that at the right moments, life can absolutely be transformed by changing one small thing. I don't understand it, but I know it to be the truth. It's not big transformations coming from the government. We're waiting to make our lives different. They won't. They won't. They can make the trains run on time. They can't transform the spirit. That work is for us alone. Life can be changed sometimes by changing one small thing. And I don't necessarily mean the external things. You don't need to sell your house. You don't need to change your car. You don't need to get rid of your spouse. They aren't the issue. They aren't the issue. I'm talking about our habits of perception and action that give space and oxygen to our spirits. Make one small change in 2023 in your posture, in your reception of and action toward the world, and it could make all the difference, not only for you, but for us. That's it. One New Year's experiment. A game, maybe. Find some fun in this experiment. Knowing yourself is at the core of it. I don't know that you have that treadmill voice that I had that told me, give it up. Don't do that. I don't know what the small change is. It might be the part of your brain that is so tweaked and eager that you're reactive to things that come at you before you have time to let them ferment. Maybe this is a year of experimenting with a kind of inner slowness. Oh my gosh, how many people tell you to cultivate inner slowness? Maybe it's like I said, in joys and sorrows, maybe it's giving others a more generous and charitable reading. Understanding people's actions not through the lenses that have been preloaded in the viewmaster of your mind, right? But something else. Again, slowing down and assume that people have a goodness that is working with you and for you. Maybe it's changing the part of the mind that unceasingly expects perfection in things. Let this be the year of 70%. A C-. Oh my gosh, this is the church of A students. I just see it in your faces. I got so many A students in this room. I got 150 degrees. Summa cum laude. It's written all over your face. Let it go. Be a C- student this year. Give yourself that room. Be excellent. But give yourself space to fall, space to rest. Maybe it's the part of your mind which anxiously is stretching from January 1st to the Epiphany in January 6th, already thinking about. Maybe you're still dwelling on, I said, we got to take down the Christmas tree. Oh, I got to take down the Christmas. Don't. Maybe it's the part of your mind that needs the spaciousness of letting this day be sufficient for this moment. Maybe it's the part of your mind that is silly and has a sense of humor about the world, and that needs space to exercise. Laughter rather than rage this year. The ability to laugh and to see the world with a lightness and a charitability is one of the greatest tools of, I'm going to say it, salvation in my book. Right next to the capacity to love. To love and to laugh this year. Give yourself the space. It's just an experiment. If it doesn't work out, next year you can remove the laughter, you can remove the love, and go back to the treadmill. It'll be waiting for you. I look forward to this great experiment together. I feel blessed to be doing it with you. May we receive what 23 has to bring. Amen. Now, if you would rise in body or spirit, and we're going to sing number, what is it, Vincent? 350 in your gray hymnals. Before we depart, if you would reach out and take a hand, if you wish, you can touch an elbow, you can stand on someone's foot. I say that many Sundays, and I don't ever see anyone doing it. On this day, let us know that we are blessed. On this day, let us know that we are alive. Let us know that this is enough. Sink down into that truth. Be filled up by it. Be filled to overflowing. For the life is within and between us, and it is a gift. Let us not miss a moment of it together. Amen. Go in peace.